Hello, everybody. Getting started here real soon. Got Mike Minotti with me, a special guest on this episode.
Yeah, I decided to jump in just for a change.
Yay!
There's that. There's us. And then...
I closed the stream by accident. Sorry.
John Lauder is Jeff Lowe.
well, Sean's not here at all, so...
I'm Christian.
I am
all moderators look alike to me.
That's fair. I completely sympathize with that. Mike, I'm probably low. I'm not going to be low for them, but just for you guys, I will fix that.
That's fine. I can bump you over my end.
No. I will fix it. It's like 1 second.
So all Latinos look the same to you? That's fucked up.
I don't know. Maybe I am slow.
Oh, shit.
You alright, Chris?
I'm alright. Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, I see the... You cut out a little bit.
Yeah, I was kind of mumbling. That was probably a big part of it. Alright. Like, I'm 100 on both my buses, so yeah, probably just you.
Go.
I heard that about you.
Maybe Christian's loud, that's all.
That's possible.
I thought when Mike was Mexican.
Christian's definitely loud, because I have him down to like 50%.
Oh, let me see.
It's okay. It's fine. We could just turn down. That's no problem. Cause like,
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm regular me.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, Mike, can you just count to 5 real quick?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Couldn't be more perfect, because perfect
Wow.
is the top. You can't get better than that. So literally could not be more perfect.
Appreciate that.
Okay, let me select the stream. There we go. Excellent, it says. Okay. Mike, well, let me test the music. Do that, and then I think we're
gonna
gonna...
Blue Sky.
Blue ski, yeah.
This man's gonna skeet.
Whenever I shit on this podcast, it does numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah, you gotta come at us.
People like it.
Okay. You heard that? Well,
You're smacking the lips?
No, the
Smacking?
music.
No, I didn't hear the music.
Okay. Thank you. Why wouldn't you hear? Okay, so maybe there's something wrong in Discord. Let's see what's going on here.
I didn't hear the music either, for what's worth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's probably a Stream Deck issue because, again, everything reset. There it is. Man, I
It's
feel
the
like
first time we do a podcast.
I have to do this like
please.
50 different things when Windows updates. Oh, yeah. All right.
One day I'm gonna have good internet. There you go.
You heard that?
Yum yum. Yes.
Yum yum.
Did hear that.
Let me just double check and make sure chat hears it. Yep,
Double,
but it's
triple
not
check,
loud
double,
enough.
check, check,
Now
check.
it is. Okay. I'm going to count us in. Mike, you ready?
Yes.
All right, we are going
I
live
am ready.
in. You ready, Christian, you said?
Yes.
5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is...
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, Monolith Productions is shutting down. Monster Hunter Wilds is upon us. Pokemon Legends Z and then A. And Who Wants to Be a Mikey and Air is back, everybody. We're going to do another one of those. I got some good questions for you, Mike. I'm looking forward to doing that. In the meantime, though, how are you doing?
Really distracted. My lips look like they're the same exact color as my shirt. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm an NES character, and
Sure.
there's just like a limited color palette. It's throwing me off.
You do have limited color palette energy.
Yeah, especially today. I need to brighten things up next time, I think.
All right. Well, it's not like that's a
Yeah.
bad look, but I definitely see exactly what you
I don't
mean.
like it. Yeah. Gosh, Tuesday I said, maybe I'll be sick on Thursday. That'd be nice. And I wasn't, and I just had to work all day. So that wasn't great.
Buddy, I'm sorry.
I want to get fucking sick finally.
I wish you would. Listen, in my opinion, you've always been fucking sick, bro. Hey, that was kind of a long day. Honestly, we woke up, a little early for us, at least. Well, I wake up early every day to take the kids to school, but here's the secret: I get back in bed. Not today. Not today.
This was shockingly. I didn't take a nap today. Like this, is like the first time I didn't take a nap forever. It was the day I had to get up extra early. So I don't know. Maybe I can ride this now.
Wait, or maybe you've unlocked a secret there. Maybe getting up early and having some, just kind of telling your body, ooh, this is a normal. Oh, okay. I'm just saying. Look,
I hate that you might be right. But,
yeah. That's I have members of my family, multiple members of my immediate family who do not want to hear that the reason you probably can't fall asleep, child and wife, is probably going to bed a little bit too late. Let's get you all in bed a little bit earlier and see if that helps. And whenever we do, works like a charm. So people don't want to hear these things. We all want to just keep staying up because sleep is basically death, right? No one wants to go to sleep.
And sleep, you're not doing too much fun stuff when you're sleeping. I like falling asleep.
Oh, yeah.
I like that 10 minutes before I fall asleep. And then I really love the longer I could stay in bed when I wake up.
Exactly.
Those are the precious minutes.
That's the zone you want to live in. That's where all the magic happens. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the good shit.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening and hit that like button on YouTube. Please, it helps people find the show. If you want to ask a question, as many people already have, you could drop a super chat during the show here on YouTube. We'll get to all of those before the end of the program. Thanks to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. Thanks to 1UP versus CPU for our artwork. You can find more at 1UpVersusCPU.com. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods in the Discord and here on YouTube and on Twitch and everywhere. Thanks to Christian for producing, and you can get more from Mike and me and support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That's patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to our Discord server, participation in Q&A sessions. I'm going to plan to do one of those, probably not this weekend, but the next weekend. I got stuff happening this weekend. And our Game Club discussions as well. Early access to new episodes of Game Mess Jeopardy, which we are in the process of figuring out what the future of that looks like, but there probably is a future. And Columbros, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. Friendly reminder, you can also become a supporter by becoming a YouTube member or a Twitch subscriber. Twitch.tv/Tokodo. Mike's streaming all the time now. It feels like, most nights feels like you're on there streaming, right?
A lot. Yeah. Recently I was like, oh, maybe it is too much, but
it doesn't feel like too much.
It's like 4 times a week lately, at least. So, yeah.
Listen, I'm not complaining, so I've been enjoying it. I'm going to be back and streaming Sunday morning is the plan, because, maybe Saturday morning. One of these weekend mornings, I will be doing this. But yeah, I'll be playing some more Grim Fandango. That's twitch.tv/JeffGrubb. All right, Mikey, I got some big topics. Let's just get right into it.
All right, let's do it.
Warner Brothers canceled Wonder Woman, the game, and didn't cancel the person. Wonder Woman is still completely okay. Wonder Woman, the game, canceled, and it is shutting down the Shadow of Mordor studio, Monolith Productions. This was a massive shakeup, but I keep saying that it felt like it was always kind of going to happen, or something like this could have happened, because Warner Brothers just does not know how to deal with owning game studios. They don't want to do it, and they haven't been able to sell it off. So here we are. How did this hit you when you first saw the news?
It's pretty depressing. Monolith is just, it's a studio that has done a lot of really interesting games and a lot of good games. I mean, gosh, they go back. Blood was one of their first games, which was like one of those Doom-likes, back when we called them Doom-likes still. But then they made those No One Lives Forever games that people love as far as spy-based first-person shooters go. Those games have been stuck in right cell, so it's difficult to play them now. But then, interesting stuff like Tron 2.0 and then the Fear series. Those then the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor games were super interesting. And Shadow of War in 2017 was their last game. So, I'm not saying, they should be shutting down Rocksteady instead, but Rocksteady did have a flop. Right? It's almost like, okay, it sucks, but they're being punished for a failure. It shouldn't happen anyway. But here, there is no failure here, except that, they got yanked around a bit, canceling an original project. Then Wonder Woman taking a while because they had to figure out how to make a Wonder Woman game, because nothing was going to get greenlit unless it was based off of an IP. Apparently, they maybe had something anyways.
And if you want to say, well, no, maybe Shadow of War underperformed, that was entirely Warner Brothers' fault by having them cram in microtransactions into that game. That was like one of the poster childs for everything has loot boxes. And that's certainly, we played the first game. We know what game they were trying to make. And then you had to make a different game that had loot boxes. Now, of course, they took all that stuff out. But all of the negativity around Shadow of War, like the real negativity, people might have had criticisms outside of that. But the piling on in the moment when that game came out was due to the business model that was driven by Warner Brothers that we've seen them try to repeat multiple times now. So we do know that was a publisher decision. It's pretty easy to guess that it was. So mismanagement up and down the line, as always. And that's been the story coming out of Warner Brothers for a while now, Mike, is the people that have been in charge of making the choices for gaming have just shat the bed. They've shat the bed multiple times now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Warner Brothers is in such bad shape, and we kind of knew they were. And it's weird because it wasn't that long ago that they seemed like they were doing really well with those Injustice and Mortal Kombat games popping off, the Arkham series, even, some stuff like Mad Max was fun, and the Lego games. And now it's just like, man, how much longer does it go on at all? They still want to give it a go with Rocksteady again, but it just doesn't really seem to be a vision aside from keep making the biggest games possible. You'll make some Hogwarts Legacy money. Who knows if people are going to care about Arkham anymore? I don't have much faith in any of it.
Yep. Yeah. It's very easy to assume that this, entire effort that they are making as a publisher is them just trying to lose the least amount of money as they slowly back away from games for the most part. They will find ways to screw up Hogwarts Legacy even. They've already announced plans to do so by really emphasizing live service stuff going forward. So we'll see how all that goes down. But clearly just looking to Warner Brothers to be a major publisher in the future seems like a silly thing. And, sure, NetherRealm will keep making games. Rocksteady does get another chance. But outside of that, it's just this is a company that is not going to be relevant to gaming in a lot of ways. And just a damn shame about Monolith Productions. Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. There's a sale on GOG right now. Some of their games, like the Fear games, Tron 2.0, like this stuff's like $1 or $2.50. So I think it's worth picking some of that up.
Yep. Let's see here. Speaking of that Wonder Woman game, it was gorgeous and expansive, according to Gail Simone, who was a consultant. She's a comics book writer. She's written a lot of Wonder Woman. She's written a lot of stuff. I think she worked on Miss Marvel, a whole bunch of stuff she is responsible for. She consulted on this and had a lot of very nice things to say about the teams she was working with and the project itself, basically saying that everyone who worked on it brought their A game, programmers, artists, designers, everyone. I don't know that I've ever worked with a team that cared more about making sure the end product was perfect. Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character. And unfortunately, this is no longer possible within our strategic priorities. Oh, that's from the publisher there, that last little quote. I think that thinking that this game was probably finding its footing now once they got around to dropping the Nemesis system, which is another story that we got. Jason Schreier went on Kind of Funny, talked about a little bit of the background there. They were trying to make the Nemesis system work. Nemesis system, people might remember from Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. You go out into the world, this open world, there's orcs that have names, kind of sometimes procedurally generated names, and you would interact, fight with these enemies, and they would defeat you or you would defeat them, and based on that, they might come back later with certain battle scars and a memory of fighting you, and have an axe to grind, and you could see the damage you did to them before, and it kind of was this progressing system of going back and forth with the same kinds of characters over and over again, but it was dynamic. And the idea was, well, let's do that with Wonder Woman. That shifted in development to becoming, hey, well, that's not really working. Let's try to do it so that you have allies that you can partner with. So it's like the friendship system as opposed to the Nemesis system. That also ended up not working. The most recent reboot in 2024, they were going to basically make Wonder Woman, but God of War 2018. And to me, that made a ton of sense. But according to the reporting, that was too little, too late. Or maybe if it wasn't too little, maybe I think to me, it sounds the exact right idea. It was too late. WB had lost their appetite for it. And obviously, I think they're looking around at how the second Wonder Woman movie did. They're just like, they wanted out of that business entirely.
Right. I mean, that's unless you're doing one of these super perennial franchises like a Harry Potter, God, even a Star Wars seems to have its ups and downs these days.
Without a doubt.
Right. That's just kind of a scary thing when video games take 7, 8, 9 years to make anymore. And, there's so many reasons why Suicide Squad was a flop. But one of them, and probably the one that Warner Bros. Is latching onto the most, is just that IP got really cold really fast. And they, just like with this Wonder Woman game, they greenlit that. They were desperate to make one of those because the franchise was doing well. Same thing with Wonder Woman. Probably the same reason why Monolith made this pitch to get a game greenlit, to keep them all in business as long as they could, because they figured this was something they were going to go for. So yeah, it's a shame. The whole Nemesis system thing is interesting because we all assumed, they're going to have the Nemesis system because that's what Monolith Productions does. And I haven't thought about that as a bit of an albatross for them, because when you stop and think about it for a minute more, well, what the hell does a Nemesis system do in a Wonder Woman game, right?
Yep.
What exactly does that mean? It made a lot of sense in a game where you're in Mordor and you're just fighting nothing but orcs the entire time. Is a Wonder Woman game gonna be an open world game? So yeah, just kind of making it more of a narrative action game probably would have made sense. I would have liked to have seen what it really would have looked like if it was gonna be super God of War, if it was still gonna have, not the Nemesis system, but some other interesting hook at least. But we'll never know.
Yep, it's again, a shame, mostly because Monolith is gone, but never seen a game that people worked on for years and years. This was announced in 2021. And so there was years of work, even if a lot of it did get rebooted. There's still a lot of people put a lot of time in there, and we won't see it. And that's always so frustrating for people who work on games. Okay. I
do wonder about some of these other Marvel games that are supposedly coming, like Blade. Right. Things, Wolverine's going to be fine. I sure hope that Amy Hennig's game still comes out, but it seems like that one's far enough along.
Yeah, that one seems like it is pretty far along. And also, Marvel just has this slightly different approach where it's, it's characters that are showing up in the movie, but they're very disconnected, or they feel more disconnected from the movies than these WB games did. Sure, Suicide Squad didn't have a movie attached to it necessarily, but the games they were making based on DC were Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman, two of the movies that made the most money for them. So it always felt like they green-lighted those projects because of the success of those movies, and then the next movies didn't do as well, and it's like, oh boy.
Funnily enough, that's what we got with the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Yeah. Which it was based off the movie, and it was a good game, and then still didn't really sell very well anyway.
Good point.
So.
Yep. And so, I don't know, it's like taking Black Panther and Captain America in World War II and being like, this is going to be a whole other story. Just I can feel it being more separate, but maybe that's also me just paying more attention because it's Marvel or something like that. I don't know. All right, let's shift over to Monster Hunter Wilds reviews. 89 on OpenCritic. That game is fully out tomorrow. People have been streaming it today. Christian was actually playing with Kind of Funny today. That's
Traitor.
Yeah, Traitor.
We were begging him to play with us all throughout the review period.
I know.
He never would.
Just kept dodging us.
You son of a bitch. I was like, they're going to close the servers for the reviewers. Why don't we play a little bit before that? And we're like, yeah, we're going to play. They never showed up.
My mother-in-law was in town, and he wants me to abandon her for him.
Your mother-in-law? I was Monster Hunter.
I was playing the museum game instead.
That's right, yeah.
That looked pretty good, though.
I played a lot of that museum game today.
Monster Hunter Wilds is doing pretty well review-wise. 89 on OpenCritic. A lot of very good reviews. Many that are in the 4 out of 5 range, 85 out of 100 range, 8 out of 10 range. All of those kind of have similar criticisms, and that is the streamlining is a bit too much. Christian, you've spent 150 hours playing this thing or whatever, 100 hours. I mean, just tell us what's going on with this thing.
I really, really, really like this game. Although, as a veteran, I have to tell this, I play every game.
Right.
They kind of, they streamline a lot of stuff for the new players, and I think this is going to be the game everyone's going to get into it. Because they made it easier. They got rid of a lot of what people call rough edges or like friction. I like to call it texture because I like that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Like now, yeah, it is fun. I think people is gonna like it. I like it a lot. But the next stuff they do, I don't want them to keep going down this route where they keep simplifying it, because it's kind of taking away from the spirit of the game. You know, I like shooting my blade and all that stuff, but
The simplification, Christian, sorry, just real quick. Like the examples of that are that you can go to your bird thing, that your mount, and basically really quickly get out of trouble and do all the things you need to do, get a bunch of items. It makes it a kind of a non-issue to have to sharpen your blade, right? You can just go get on the bird and sharpen your blade. So it's like a lot of the challenge of finding the right space and time to make these things happen is gone. And then they kind of give you a lot of items just out of the gate to make things very simple, right?
Yeah, they simplify. Not only it makes the game easier. A lot of people is like, oh, it's not easier. You're just too good. The people reviewing the game. No, the game is easier for sure. Especially, I can't talk about the end game now because the game isn't out yet. I'm gonna talk a little bit more next week. But yeah, all that stuff. When you in the older games, when you had to shoot your weapon, when you had to like walk away to drink a potion and that kind of stuff, that things added a little bit of like anxiety or like danger feeling to it. In this game, that's not there anymore because you can just get in your secret, and run around and just like do all your stuff in the secret, and the secret will run around the monster all the time, and the monster just like won't hit you. You're like pretty much invincible on top of that. So it's a little bit like, oh, there's no tension. That's the word I was looking for.
Right.
There's no tension in this game anymore. Like
that's
when you.
I wanted to ask real quick.
Yeah,
go ahead, Sean.
Oh, well, I was just going to add to what Christian was saying. I'm a more casual Monster Hunter player, and I've been playing a decent amount. I'm right at the end of the game, the main story right now. And I think that's the right word to use. A lot of people have been throwing around the word, other words regarding difficulty and everything like that. But I think tension is the right word to use because, like I described in our Capcom game, imagine if you could save anywhere. Imagine if save rooms weren't a thing in traditional Resident Evil. It takes away the tension of it. It's not necessarily a friction. That's where that's being used a lot. It's a tension issue. And so I agree with what Christian's saying on that.
I'm just curious if you think, the whole, all the open world stuff, do you think that kind of has added to the experience at all?
The world feels more alive, to say, but it doesn't change the dynamic of the game. Like in worlds, it feels like the same because yes, this world is every stone is connected and it's all happening at the same time, and you can move around between maps seamlessly. But they're like separated by this. They got rid of the loading screens by putting loading hallways. You walk through the maps through long hallways, and you get they're loading the next zone in this.
Like even more than that, like when what little I've played the beta, a little bit of the live game now, I can feel myself not learning this open world because I just hop on the secret and let him take me to where I need to go, and then I'm worried about other stuff. And again, I think that is of course, they're doing that to streamline things so you can take care of your errands in that moment, and then you get to go through the world, and it still does feel alive, as you said. But I don't think it's that additive to answer Mike's question.
I'm joking.
Also, I think it's like the world, like this world, unlike in Worlds, it's a bad word that I should use. It doesn't feel like a real place where like real people walk around, or like real monsters and stuff walk around, because now everybody has their own car pretty much. So every place is a highway. Every place is like 5 times more wider than any other place in world. So it feels like this is a parking lot because your bird has to run around, that kind of stuff. So it feels weird because I've been jumping back around with the Wilds End world just to see the difference. And a world feels more real, like a real place with real monster. Even though it doesn't have the same like dynamics of Wilds, but it feels more more like alive. This shit is like, oh, a monster was sleeping there. I can feel it, and he walked through this crack and went to the other side of this wall. In Wilds, it's like, oh, it's just a big place, and now I'm going to the next. I'm following this monster to the next place they're going, and it's a big hallway to that place in the same zone. So it doesn't feel like real. But I don't know. It looks cool. It's fun. Also, another thing about the simplification of the game is a lot of the gameplay in Monster Hunter was learning the patterns of the monster, the attacks, in which attack you had to roll away, or you can tank it or block it. And in this game, you have in your life bar, you have a tension meter, or like it will flash out when an attack is going to kill you. Pretty much, they're like, oh, this shit, you had to dodge it or you will die. And what that makes me do is I'm constantly checking that now. I kind of don't need to learn the monster anymore. So if I see that the life bar is not flashing crazy, I'm like, I pretty much can just tank this, or like heal through it, or like keep whiling, because the weapons in this game are very animation dependent. You just once you're whiling, you're just doing your attack until like you can roll away. So I'm just like doing that, and like it kind of took a little bit away from the game. Also, that I like to learn the monsters, so it kind of ease that. And yeah,
that's a good point, Christian. Ironically, the tension is kind of gone because there is a literal tension radar that alerts you when an attack has been coming, rather than the spirit of Monster Hunter, which is needing to literally look at the monster and the animations and figure out when it's going to attack, because it has a tell that you need to be looking out for. That's kind of gone now.
Is this I don't know, what you're describing makes it sound like this is a tension that they would maybe struggle to reintroduce through DLC and expansions, because these are fundamental gameplay mechanics.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you think that's right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I don't think they can like take it back unless they release another game. They took it back in that game, but I don't think in Wilds, in the whatever update they're gonna come through. But I sounded pretty down in the game, but that's just me being like an old head. I don't know what the perspective for the new players going to be. I'm probably gonna love it, because like they're like, oh cool, look, I can just dodge the shit, and like they're gonna learn that way probably. But it sounds I'm pretty now, but I actually love this game. It's so much fun. Like the combat is just impeccable. The action is, every weapon feels incredible in this game. I'm not a big fan of the I only play hunting horn, so I don't play other heavy guns, heavy weapons like the hammer, or that, like the switch axe or whatever. I don't play those. I don't like the slow. I only like the hunting horn because I'm a hunting horn. But I've been playing in this game with those weapons, and they added so much mobility to them, so much like other moves. There's like, oh shit, I might play a hammer now because it's so much fun. It's a great game. I hope the future doesn't get more streamlined, and they try to reintroduce a little bit more of the old like flavor of Monster Hunter.
Right. My guess would be that they oscillate. Right. They have. I know there's reasons to believe they won't do that, because they seem to be getting more, again, streamlined with each iteration recently. But I think that is the only criticism I've seen, for the most part, is too easy. Yeah. Too simplified, too streamlined. And I think Capcom will probably respond to that by introducing new ways to have tension in the next game. And so they'll kind of build back on top of this structure, because they'll probably feel comfortable that we have captured a lot of new people with Wilds, and they will be ready for something maybe a little bit more complex, for a lack of a better word. That would be my guess.
Yeah, and the updates are pretty good with these games. Not only the big updates, the expansions, just they continually, like the live service side of these games, they kind of have been doing it perfectly since forever. The updates they do with the new monster, the event quest, and all that stuff. The collaborations they do with like Final Fantasy and that kind of stuff is really, I'm really looking forward to that kind of stuff too. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff in the end game. I can't talk about it because the game is not out. So I will talk a little bit later, more about like the theory building of the game that I have been like. I can't talk about that, but
the release is just in like 90 minutes, so people are going to start
released,
playing
yeah,
this, and I'm curious to see kind of what like the wider opinion, especially amongst the hardcore faithful, is going to be there. I played a bit of it during this review period, but I definitely want to play a lot more. I definitely want to get through this campaign and play up my friends, do some more end game hunts, and get a better feel for it.
Yep, same.
Yeah, but overall, I love this game. It's so much fun. I can't wait to play with all the people. I'm a support player. I love the hunting hunt because it's a perfect support weapon. Like you can whack motherfuckers and you can like buff and heal people. In this game is crazy, and also the sword and shield also is super fun to just heal people and that kind of stuff because it lets you use items while you're fighting. And yes, it's fun. I can't wait to play with y'all. So let's get hunting, people.
Looking forward to it. Absolutely. All right, fantastic. We'll have more to say about it next week for sure. And there went YouTube crashing. Hell yeah, good website. All right.
Oh yeah, you crashed for me too. Let's go.
They're crashing like crazy today.
Pokemon Day Presents Showcase happened. A bunch of stuff that they talked about, mostly updates to existing things, and then more information about a handful of other things. Really big news is Pokemon Champions, a new app game coming to Switch, iOS, and Android, will be a battle sim sort of thing. Pokemon Stadium 3 is the best way to think about it. It will have a select group of Pokemon that you'll be able to play as, and then later you'll be able to connect home, and they will probably add support for more of those as time goes on, more of the Pokemon that you will be able to bring over from home. This is exactly what Jana Cho has been asking for. I imagine a lot of Pokemon fans are going to be excited about this. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I still have some nostalgia for Pokemon Stadium. Like back then, so much of it was like, wow, you can actually watch real 3D models battle and not just, a still sprite. But there still is a clamoring for that kind of experience. And I hope that they still add all the fun extra things that made those games interesting, right? Like the mini games or just whatever else kind of thing. But, if there's just support for tournaments, for, a combination of, bring your Pokemon in, but also just draft Pokemon and figure things like that out. The whole aspect of a game, a Nintendo game for all intents and purposes, is communicating between Switch and iOS. Somehow that's actually interesting. We didn't even get very much of that, if at all, with the actual Nintendo iOS games that they were making there.
Right, exactly.
Okay, hold on. Hang on.
Do your thing. I'm sorry, wait, everyone stop.
This is my thing.
Pokemon influencer, Turbo Sean. Your videos are popping off on Instagram and TikTok. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, viral. Shouts to Tom for making that. That was a really good cut. It's popping off. Very crucially, and I want us to be careful with our words here. Very much not Pokemon Stadium 3. So do not expect the mini games. Do not expect any of that extra flavor.
Yeah, no, of course. Like I always
when
forget
you say
that people
Stadium 3, people expect the Mario.
It just
Party
never meant
aspect.
that to me. I never really played those mini games. I understand that so many people did, but yes.
Yeah, for those who know, it's an official version of Pokemon Showdown. Is basically what it is. The fan-made simulator has been going for like a decade and a half, 2 decades now. Basically, the Pokemon Company has always been aware of that. We know for a fact they have been because people talk, and they just finally made their own, which is a really good thing because it will also get all of that stuff out of the video games a little bit. So Game Freak can make the core games, and then here, Pokemon Works, the company, is them collaborating with Ilka. So it's a team, a joint venture with Ilka, and so that team is going to maintain this. So finally, they're getting wise. Management is getting wise a little bit and actually spreading things out because Game Freak clearly cannot keep up, as we saw with Scarlet and Violet.
Right, and the other side of that is they aren't going to be limiting this to the mainline games as a mode inside of there. So yeah, this does free up Game Freak, absolutely. All right. Well, then Pokemon Legends ZA, they gave us many more details about this. It is basically Pokemon Legends Arceus, but it takes place in a city now. There are still wild zones. These are parts of the city that are being revamped, and there you'll be able to go out there and capture Pokemon, but it's still within a city. Everyone's speculating, likely correctly so, that they're making this choice so that they can have the game run pretty well still, without having these big, wider open areas. Still doesn't look like a fantastically impressive game graphically, but I don't know. For me, I'm not complaining too much. It looks fun. It looks like a pretty good game. I'm excited. It's coming late this year, they're saying. So fall. I think they said fall in Japan, in fact. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on this one?
I was pretty happy with how this looks. Like, yeah, when you compare it to most games, it doesn't look great. You compare it to Scarlet and Violet. Oh man, this looks like a real humdinger. Right?
Next
like,
gen.
Let's go. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I'm fine with the way that it looks for a Pokemon Company, Game Freak, Switch 1 game, right? And I like the whole setting it in a city, having those kind of smaller zones in the parks or these construction areas, whatever you want to call it. Then maybe, the sort of urban exploration aspect of it can also be fun. I liked Legends 1 a lot, so I'm glad we're getting something that is still mostly going to be like that. Having the real-time battles, I think that's kind of neat. Part of me wonders, how different is it really going to feel to wait around for cooldowns as opposed to just taking your turns with the battles? But for some people, that's probably going to make a bigger difference than it might to me. But yeah, let's try that. Why not? Switching things up. Definitely worth it. One of the weird things to me, and it's not really a big deal, but why are 2 of the starters Gen 2 Pokemon? Then you got who's the other one? The Piglet.
Yeah, it's Tepig, Totodile, and Chikorita.
Right. Now, I know why we don't have Cyndaquil, because we had Cyndaquil in the last Legends. That's fine. But, I mean, why 2 Gen 2? Why not throw in one of the others? Whatever. That's fine. I'm just going to pick Totodile because he's cool anyways. But yeah, I'm excited for this one, Jeff. I think, again, first Legends, very good. I think this is an interesting direction for it. I even like the stupid friend character who's either named Town or City or whatever.
Towny or Urbane. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's
incredible.
Great. That's great.
All right, Sean. Yeah, you were very excited about the change to the battle system. How different do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to add a lot of flavor to Pokemon, and that's what Legends did in Arceus, and that's what they're doing here in ZA. They're mixing things up a little bit. They're trying something new and different. Like I said in those videos that are kind of popping off, this is, to me, what I've always wanted in Pokemon. I wanted them to just have a battle system that feels, at least as much as you can in a video game, like the TV show, where you are calling out to your Pokemon, dodge left, dodge right, use this attack, use that attack. And, with the cooldowns, it will sort of still feel like you're going back and forth a little bit. And, you're leading the Pokemon around, so it's not quite... not quite like the show, but it's a little bit more like that. I think that's very exciting. It's different, and different is good because, like we said in the talk over, now they kind of have 2 different series where the Gen 10 will be the mainline stuff that people expect, and then this is more for like you guys who want something a little bit different, and for me who wants to see something like we've always wanted in a series, which I think is very exciting. I think in general it looks great. I'm not necessarily talking about the visuals there, obviously. It looks very simple. It looks like, hey, y'all, there's a reason Breath of the Wild looks the way it does. They were smart about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Game Freak is maybe learning, we need to get a little wiser with our art style.
Just took
decisions.
them 8 years. Okay. Yeah.
Look,
well, honestly, a lot longer than that.
I'm not going to defend their tech shops. They are at least 1 generation behind because, this looks like a late 360 game is basically where we're at now. So we're like a generation and a half behind. But
what are these videos you guys are talking about that are popping off? What's going on?
Tom just cut down basically what Sean just said when he said that during the live stream. Tom just cut that down, put it on Instagram and TikTok, and they have like 300,000 views already and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck yeah.
They're on the GameSpot accounts on Instagram.
That's why I couldn't find it. Yes. Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. That makes sense, actually. Okay. Neat.
Yeah, I think it's very exciting in general. I continue to mix things up. That's what they need to do right now.
Hey, look, I'm on this viral video. Neat.
Yeah, you are.
So someone who's real Pokemon experience is 15-ish hours in Arceus, and then I played Red and or Blue back in the day, and haven't touched much Pokemon between then and now. When I think about what I want from the battle system, moving around in real time, cool. That's neat. But I think what I want is like maybe the possibility of more complexity in the options I have when I'm selecting attacks, more than just 4 at a time. Is that like something you guys think is on the table?
No,
I'm
still saw it. It just was the 4 attacks.
Okay, right.
That's like Pokemon lore. So
right, yeah, right. That's what I'm asking. And again, I'm like not paying attention to this stuff.
They do show in the trailer though that you can like swap Pokemon basically instantly. Like the trainer had a bug Pokemon going up against a fire Pokemon, so they recalled the bug Pokemon and tossed out the Onix like almost instantly. And then the Onix, super effective because it's a rock type against the fire type.
Right.
So the flow will be there.
Okay. Yeah, I think the 4 attack thing is actually kind of important to the balance of it, because it is, you have to make tough decisions there, and you have to switch between Pokemon to cover up.
And just fit, like a friendly reminder for all this stuff. And again, it's not a defense, but these are kids games, and having those, 4 face buns, 4 attacks, easiest way for kids to wrap their heads around that too.
Yep, I was just like, I wasn't sure if that was so important. It seems like it must be. And okay, asked and answered. Fantastic.
I have a question. Where's the goddamn black and white remake? What the hell?
Nothing happened in there.
No, I tell you what, I got scared Tuesday when we were talking about this, when I did suddenly realize, like, well, wait a second. If Pokemon Legends ZA is coming out this year, and then Gen 10 is coming out next year, and they have done 2 games a year before, it's kind of rare, though.
It also just seems like
3 games in 18 months last time. That was the problem with Scarlet and Violet, is that they had 3 back-to-back-to-back. So, the more we talked about it, the more I was like, look, like, it seems, what I was trying to convey was, it seems like this is the most likely time because of stuff that's happening later in the year, but it just didn't happen. Maybe those existing got pushed out. Maybe they just don't exist, and we're going to have to wait a much longer time for that. But yeah, I maintain what I said. I think if they didn't happen here, we're back to square one, and we have no idea when they're going to happen. So maybe it's going to be a long ways out now.
It's like, oh, maybe this doesn't even happen before Gen 10. It still could. Yeah. Like maybe it's next summer it happens.
It would feel. I thought about that of like next year, 30th anniversary, like that being the thing for the hardcore fans, and then Gen 10 being for everyone. But I feel like black and white remakes, sure, the hardcore fans really like it. It still feels like an odd choice for the 30th anniversary. So I don't know. But then again, hey, I was wrong about thinking black and white could show up this year, so maybe I'm wrong and it'll be next year. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's like you think that's going to happen eventually. You also think Let's Go Johto will happen eventually, because Let's Go Pikachu did so freaking well, but
to be fair, those did well because they came out and had tie-ins with Go at the height of Go's popularity.
Yeah, you're right. And they were also early Switch games. I bet they would have done well anyways, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's just...
There's definitely still an audience, and people still play Go, so there's still that connection there. So I think you're right. Like, those could happen, and I would like to see it. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were great remakes.
They're fantastic,
yeah, I'd like to see it too. Who knows what they're going to do at this point, though.
Saying Let's Go Johto is so fun.
Yeah,
I did enjoy that.
So good.
It would be Let's Go like Meryl and Eevee or something like that.
It'll be Let's Go Togepi.
Meryl and Pichu.
That's fine, but Let's Go Johto is just, it's fun to say.
We can still call it that, Mike. It's okay.
We can still do it. We call that fucking game Spoon Heaven. We can call this whatever we want.
We're gonna start calling Totodile, so there you go.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
That was, I think that's like Christian that did that joke here in the document.
Okay, well, I guess that's definitely my starter now. I'll tell you what, I like Totodile, but I always like Cyndaquil more, so at least now I'm like, well, I guess here I have an excuse to pick Totodile
there you go. All right, good deal. All right, that does it for the big topics I wanted to talk about. I think what we should do now, take a break, come back. I'm going to have Mike Minotti read your super chats. Thank you, everybody who sent those in. If you want him to read it now, send it in now. We'll be right back after this. See you in a second.
We are in the breakeroo.
All right, Mike is peeing. I will. Oh, let me get Millionaire set up just so we have it ready to go since he's peeing now.
All right, now Mike's peeing. That was a good time to bring up. I realized last week, I don't think there's anything remake related in the Terra leak, and so that's why I started to be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, I was seeing something, but then again, if it was Ilka, maybe that would have been like mostly external. So
right.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop me from being sad about it, though.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I know. No Pokemon blowout. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
No.
We promised it, but sorry about that. Yeah, I like, the little bit of rumors I hear, and Pokemon rumors are always like friends sounding things off against me because I'm not ever out there looking for them and fully understanding what I'm hearing. But I was, had a friend that was like, yeah, this sounds like it'll be kind of low key still. But to me, that meant like, well, we're expecting black and white remakes, so that probably does mean low key still. But nope, even more low key than that.
Listen, I could parroted a certain Scottish birdie who said on his podcast last week that would be Pokken. So, thank God I didn't do that.
Oh, man, that guy is just worthless. Honestly, he could have, maybe it sounded like Pokken, but you can't understand him when he talks, so he could have been saying anything.
That's why I can't listen to I can't listen to that podcast in the shower. I can't understand a goddamn word they're saying over that speaker. Christ.
Do you run subtitles?
All right, there's that.
Wow.
All right, there we go. Who wants to be a Mikey Nair will be ready here soon, everybody. You have a sneak peek at the first question.
Oh boy, I haven't seen this one yet. This is going to be interesting.
I've seen it.
Yeah, Christian, if you want to send it to Sean so he can also maybe double check if he wants.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I trust you to have him. At least
it should mostly be all right. And you know what? What's the worst that could happen? I got something wrong. It's my podcast. Who gives a shit?
Jeff Grubb has never gotten something
I've never gotten anything wrong, so let's start now. Let's see what it feels like. All right.
You got it?
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic stuff. Mikey, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you ready? Bam, 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 bam. All right, let's go back.
Ready to suck it?
Let me get YouTube back here.
What?
Okay.
Wait,
you
what?
heard him.
It's a wrestling thing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Of course, it's a wrestling thing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back.
Shit. Sorry, I just saw the first super chat. We'll talk about it. All right, I'll bring us back in. All right, Mike Minotti, we're back. Let's do some super chats, please.
Hi, first one is from Toke Finn, who says, have either of you played Good Job on Switch? Jeff, I feel like you're going to say yes and then be upset that we forgot to put it on our list.
Yes, and I'm upset that we forgot to put it on our list. That's an oversight. I just completely forgot. Good Job is really solid fun. That's a good game. Nintendo published Good Job, so we didn't even include it in our first party games. Yeah. Well,
we're going to go back to that list every now and then,
you know what? You're right.
Once Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
You're right. We're going to have to update that. I think it's very unlikely Metroid Prime 4 is not in the top 100.
Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be a Switch 1 game. Right?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, we will update that list.
We didn't talk about that there, and like I'm not surprised that they didn't talk about what that game's going to be like on Switch 2. But I still am curious, and I think Sean's been saying some things online. I agree. It probably isn't going to be much more than just a stable frame rate.
Yes,
that would be nice. I'll take a stable frame rate, even if it's not a stable 60. I'll just take stable.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there is precedent for that as well. By the way, like there's a direct one where a Black and White 2 were just better when you ran them on 3DS, and the 3DS was already out at that point.
Yep, that is my expectation for this as well. You can read the next one.
I read these.
We
says,
take turns doing that.
Dan and Mike should have to do a co-op Blake game for their Blues Brothers 2000 mistake. All right, listen, everybody. Here's my question. Are you enjoying the content? What's the problem here? What's the issue? What do you care about this loser?
Too much Blight Club? Jeff Grubb suffers more? He's a sinner. Yeah. He should be punished.
Yeah. It's great. Let's see how long it takes me to beat my game before we start trying to punish me.
Yeah, for real. Listen, Mike, I'll say it now. I have a lot of confidence in your ability to figure things out, so I do think it will be a maximum of 2 episodes. It's just not impossible that it goes longer. But I'm pretty confident that 2 episodes, because once you figure some stuff out, you should have a pretty good chance of beating that game. So we'll
once
see.
I figure out how to actually attack people as Mr. Jekyll, it's going to be fine. Who knows?
Well, no, there's plenty of other bad games. Come
on. Kitty Cat Man 93 says, "What do you guys think they'll do next if Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3-4 remaster does well?" That's a long shot, but I'm hoping for a remaster of Tony Hawk to
They got him.
They'll remaster Thug 1 and 2, and then after that, they'll probably be done remastering them.
Yeah, I think you do Thug 1 and 2. You do your own versions of Thug Pro. make that kind of official and make a big deal about that too, like just big online hangout games. And then after that, they probably do at least one more big original Tony Hawk game after all this, I think. If as long as these things continue to sell, that would be my expectation.
Right. It's like unlike the very stupid thing that happened with Vicarious Visions back when Activision was throwing everyone in the Call of Duty mines. We don't have to worry about that with Iron Galaxy. Like the Iron Galaxy could just become the Tony Hawk studio for at least a while here.
Right. Yeah. I hope that's the case. And yeah, honestly, Microsoft should just keep them on contract for a very long time to do exactly that.
Simon from Saskatchewan says, is Fighter Within story mode on your Blight Club radar? I know I've probably seen this on Matt McMuscle's Worst Fighting Game Ever series. Is this the one with the Celt who lifts up his kilt and he like shoots a fireball out of his crotch?
God, I hope
That's
so.
this one. Or is that a different one? There's so many of these like Mortal Kombat knockoffs that aren't very good. Usually it's hard to do a whole Blight Club around that. If only we had a shorter like format version of it where we could have given one of these to Jeff, maybe we would have considered that.
I believe scientists have looked into that and they say it's impossible. So
here's look. Here is my defense on Blues Grubber.
You don't care.
No, I care. I care so much. I care so much that I knew this would be such a good game for you forever.
Yeah, no.
It's like the first
You're
one
right.
I pitched for you, and Dan
You're
never
right.
went for it because he just goes on how long to beat, and it says 3.5
You're right.
hours, and he goes, well, that's not long enough.
You're right.
This was my shot.
Mike, I know it's Dan. I know. I have to deal with him when we pick your game. I know it's Dan. And like I said, I got the receipts of me being like, all right, maybe next time we should do real lightning round games. Like kind of getting pretty exasperated because he just doesn't get it. These things might be way too long. So yeah.
You might have to be more diligent when dealing with him.
Yeah, a little bit. We did skip Big Fresh. I see why, because that one also started with a Tony Hawk question.
Oh, my mistake. I'll get back to it. YouTube crashed anyway. So
Yeah, fantastic. Those the fighting game story campaigns, I definitely want to find some ways to do those on Lightning Round in the future.
There's that one time me and you just played Masters of Terrascasi, which was fun.
I like that.
Big Fresh 37 says, I wish Tony Hawk 3 plus 4 was an expansion. It would be cool to have 1 through 4 in one package. You could do cool stuff like have games of Horse that extend across levels from all 4 games and such. I hear you a little bit. I'm pretty happy to have them be separate things. Maybe we could do some slightly different things here.
Yeah.
Or it can have a little bit of its own flavor. I mean, it's a different developer anyways.
Yep, yeah, I'm with you. I see the appeal of it all being one big game for sure. It worked for Hitman. But yeah, I think them having another chance to sort of build up more features on top of this game is exciting.
Next up is from Simon from Saskatchewan. Says, I agree. Tush Push shouldn't be banned. Sorry, Jeff, but go Pack Go. I'm glad Lions are finally decent, though, because competition makes divisional games more fun.
Yeah. There's a great video of someone who does like, NFC North reacts, and he just puts on the different jerseys of each team. And there's a good one where he's like going through the years about how no one cared about the Lions or whatever, and Lions are just like, you're our rivals and we hate you for years, and no one cared. And then finally, like this year, Green Bay Packers are like to the Lions saying, you're our rivals and we hate you. And it's like, it's so nice, honestly, to have the Packers hate us back. It's been fantastic.
Saskatchewan again says, Jeff, I've heard Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness is a short Blight Club. Just punishment. Either dress as Croft would be fun. Doesn't look bad at first, but oh boy. I bet we'll get to Angel of Darkness eventually. I don't think it's a first round Blight Club pick, which doesn't mean it won't be a great one. I bet once we think we've gone through all of the obvious ones or some of the more terrible ones.
So many buried ones that no one ever talks about. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that phase.
Right. And to be clear, we will not play the recent remaster of it. We'll have to make somebody play that original PS2 version.
Yeah, is there a
terrible.
T-Rex in that one? Because I like the idea of someone have to be in one of those inflatable T-Rex suits playing that.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
We could just do that anyways.
Okay.
The older ones had the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yes, the first one.
Not this one.
San Saskatchewan's back says, Mike, have you played Breath of Fire games or Quest 64? I played Breath of Fire 4 on my Vita through the shop there, and I did like it. It's got some of the best pixel art you will see. I don't know if I loved it like some people do, but I did like it a lot. I haven't played any of the others. I heard 3 is very good, though. I have not played Quest 64. I may have rented it once and didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah, I think people say Quest 64 has a interesting spell casting system or whatever, but other than that, not a great game.
I think it kind of has the Parasite Eve spellcasting system.
Really fun,
Maybe
weird.
just from based off of like the very short glimpses of it I've ever seen. I might be wrong. Next up is from Jason Fulton says, "Fuck, marry, kill between these 3 franchises: Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, Metroid. Thank you for a few hours of distractions every week. It's appreciated." Just really going for the jugular on this one,
this
Jeff.
is impossible.
This is like my holy trinity of it's
Yeah,
Nintendo
same.
franchises, sure, but just franchises. Whoo, boy.
Jesus.
I'm marrying Zelda. I'm marrying Metroid. I'm marrying Metroid.
Yeah.
Metroid's getting married for sure. Metroid Minotti is the full name. Or I could be Mike Metroid. I'll take their name.
Take
That's
their
fine
name,
too.
Yeah.
Mike
The problem for
Metroid.
me is every time for these 3 franchises specifically, my favorite one is whichever one I played a game from last.
Yeah.
Like it's on like
they're all so good.
yeah, and like they just every time I play one, it makes me fall in love with them all over again. This is tough. I guess
Right.
this is crazy. I guess I fuck Mario, I marry Metroid, and I kill Zelda. That doesn't make any sense.
I guess I'm doing the same, but like no.
Yeah.
What the one thing with me is, me, if it was only the 2D Marios, as much as I do like them, I would be like, yeah, kill that. That's fine. But I love 3D Mario. I love 3D Mario, maybe even more than any Metroid game or any Zelda game. Maybe. Gosh.
My choice, I would definitely turn into an old man filled with regret and being like on my deathbed, being like, I should have fucked Zelda.
I like that.
This super chat destroy you.
Yeah.
This was like a
Really, like Mike said, the jugular.
Sometimes you have to just remind yourself these are hypothetical questions and they can't hurt you.
Yeah.
Jedi Moss 4 says, "Is Game Freak done with Pokemon remakes? They
That's
farmed
a
out the
girlfriend.
last remake to another dev, and Game Freak seems much more excited to do Legends games between generations." I wouldn't be too shocked if they themselves don't make a remake again. I don't think it's going to necessarily be that brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl team again.
Right. They didn't make the last one, right? That's what you're saying. Yeah.
That's right. They didn't make that last one. And a lot of people don't like that last one. So there's like some anxiety around that. And I think some of the leaked documents from that leak, like internally, maybe they weren't super happy with that either. Still sold really well, though. They're still going to eventually keep doing remakes. But yeah, I think Game Freak is going to be very busy with these other 2 pillars now, the main gens and now the Legends games. Nathan Maloney says, "Hey, Brother Mike and Father Jeff of the Church of Meat. When do you think we see the next Respawn Jedi game? And when is it out? And do we see those High Moon Transformers games remastered this year?"
Yeah, I mean, I think those High Moon Transformer games do have a chance of coming back. I would like to see that. That'd be great. This year makes a lot of sense. That would be awesome. How long was it between the first 2 Jedi games? 5 years? 4?
Good question.
I think it was probably 5 years. I'd say 5 years.
5 years sounds about right. Jedi Fallen Order was 2019. The sequel came out in 2023, so 4 years.
4
Just
years,
4
not
years,
bad. All
actually.
right, 4 to 5 years then. I think they know what they're doing now. I'm sure they had a plan for the third one, like written down this entire time, so they could just immediately jump on making that game. So yeah, I would expect it here within 4 years of the release. So 2027, 2028. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Screaming Madison says thanks to Mike's streams where he's counted how many games he's beaten on Infinite Backlog. I've made my own IB account. Currently at 180 games beaten. 10 of those games are completed. Yeah, you can actually like get a lot more granular on that site, and like say like if you're 100% a game, if you just started it. I was only marking games I beat, and I didn't care to say if I completed it or not. I am you can rate them. It's supposed to be like a what's that thing everyone does for movies?
Letterboxed.
It's like a letterbox site. I should review them all. Maybe someday I'll go and do that for funsies.
Yeah, okay, that would be fun to watch. It's definitely the kind of thing where I would like to start adding some of that stuff to Blight Club. Where as we finish a game, we immediately have to like just give it. We don't have to like write a review, but give it like a star rating or something like that, and say how difficult it was, and maybe have our own personal ranked list, that sort of thing.
Dwayne Arnold, please say that as Dwayne. With the
Yeah, I
first
would
super
read
chat,
as
thank you
Dwayne.
so much. Does the size of the dev team / game affect how easy it is to get info for? Example, Silk Song versus Assassin's Creed Shadows. Question for you, Jeff.
Yeah, more people, right? And bigger publishers, bigger studios. Yeah, there's more people that just kind of don't feel like they need to protect those bigger companies. Whereas, I bet the people that work on Spoon Heaven feel like a family, and I'm never really interested in like going in and shaking up the dynamic for something like that either. So that's a big part of it as well.
All right, next one here is from Chuktowski. Says, no shit post. It was really cool to see y'all making moves this week and doing production magic and getting it going. Loving it. Don't stop, Enos.
Yeah. So we've been testing some stuff out over at Giant Bomb and GameSpot of basically a full day streaming slate, or 12 to 5 p.m. Eastern, that sort of thing. Where we kind of never go down. We'll have something streaming that entire time. Or if we do go down, it is a transition period for at most 30 minutes between shows. But yeah, like Wednesday, I went from Game Mess Mornings, which is again going to have a new name here soon. There's no way to find that on the internet. Game Mess Mornings, and then went right into Grubb's Gimmicks, where we streamed some Steam Next Fest demos. Sean and Nikki hung out with me. We had some fun stuff out of that, and then went right into Blight Club after that, back to back, and just with a seamless handoff. We didn't bring the stream down or anything like that. At least on Twitch. We might have done it on YouTube a little bit just to make it so they're individual videos. But yeah, it worked really well. People seem to like it. Today, we handed off to GameSpot instead, and they had the GameSpot studio ready to go, and they were just hanging out doing fun stuff, and I was just absolutely loving that. So feeling pretty good about it, giving people something to watch all day, and feeling like we're adding a little bit of a different flavor to it. There's a lot of people doing similar kind of stuff, but I think we're doing it with our own style and flair, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, that's kind of the meta, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris Pratt says, I had a $1 billion idea ready for my ex-friend, David Z. Nemesis system Mario game where stomp a Goopa, and then another level, their child tries to attack you. Come on, man.
I love how you read that. That was beautiful.
Oh, man. Yeah, good line read. Absolutely. I bet Chris Son's probably going to be pretty impressed. Might be giving you a call. Start a new Amazon Prime movie vehicle there. Yeah.
I'm ready, Chris. I'm ready for my big break. I didn't get a block, as I was saying. Where's my...
You were immediately like, I have a real job. I can't. And then you got everyone mad at you.
Immediately. Before you even offered, I was like, I can't have a block.
Yep.
By the way, Jacob Bet says, Pokemon looks great. Keep up the great work. Well, we don't make the Pokemon, but thank you. I'm joking. I know you didn't mean that. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate it. Al Grug says, according to that chart Jeff skeeted, he has 3 of the top 5 longest Blight games, while Dan has 3 of the 5 shortest games. So Quest 64 for Dan win. I'm surprised how often people want us to give Dan Quest 64. I just really don't know if that's going to be good content, Jeff.
Yeah, I would have to look at Quest 64 a little bit more myself. I do think that one day, if I were to get the unilateral decision, I would consider something as punishing as that, but I would also be hesitant about it because it could be such a slog that it would be. Yeah. But that's never stopped Dan. That's where I'm at. So
don't you think? I know it's not like people don't know about as much, but don't you think it'd be funnier to give him virtual highlight?
Oh no, I think it might be. Yeah, it might be funny.
But he again, part of me's like, could he beat that game? I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's his problem, right? Yeah,
that's kind of his problem. Yeah. You're right. Yep. Why do I still have empathy for him?
Yeah, I don't know.
That shit he pulled with the way he puts his phone in his pocket. Holy shit! Psycho behavior.
Oh,
I was about to say that.
Christian.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. The you have a lot of consideration and you put a lot of thoughts on whatever Dan is gonna play. While he just moves like he's a force of nature when he's picking your games. He's just
he's a tornado.
Passes through his body and soul. He's like, yeah, they're gonna play this no matter what's gonna happen. So I don't know. That's my observation.
It's kind of a funny idea, chat. What if instead of lightning round, we had an RPG round?
Okay.
Man,
Let's go. Let's do it.
I bet Dan would love that
Yeah.
idea.
And again, like, you know, he's one like unilateral decision. I think he just like suggested that or asked for that, and then Alex said yes. So I got to find my opportunity and strike.
Mm-hmm. Next up here is from TGIF Bramalgia.
Fibromyalgia.
Yes, that. What Pokemon would be your out of Pokeball companion? So you know, like how Pikachu follows Ash around. I think they should all get in their ball where they belong.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally.
Yeah, you're filthy animal. Get in your ball.
Yeah, I do like Eevee because Eevee's cute and like looks like a pet, right?
Sure.
It's not like I just have a rat following me around.
What's the hottest one?
Well, Lopunny, I think Sean would say.
All right.
Be real weird. Or Gardevoir is those are the
Gardevoir
ones
is
that
the
everyone wants
correct
to
answer,
fuck. Right, yeah.
I like how Mike had the correct answers, but still pawned it off as if Sean was saying it just to protect himself.
Yeah, he knew the correct answer. Like he's a Vaporeon fan. He knows the correct answer.
Yeah, I don't like that people want to do bad things with Vaporeon.
Hey, there's nothing bad about what nature says you gotta do.
Okay,
Ricky.
innocent answers feel. Jesus Christ, you guys are freaks.
Ricky says, feels dumb for asking, but can we expect performance improvements for indie games on Switch 2? Playing Dead Cell / Dave the Diver and would love it in 60 FPS penis.
It's going to be case by case.
It's going to be case by case because it's not just going to happen magically. The developers are going to have to put work in.
Yeah. For the most part, it's not going to happen magically. By and large, it won't. I suppose there's chances that the way things work, if there's an unlocked frame rate, maybe we'll see. It's gonna be case by case. Yeah. So,
like, gosh, I would love it if it hadn't time ran better on there, for example, stuff like that. So
the good news is, if it does require a little bit of tending from the developers, Switch 2 is where, or Switch 1 is where indie games sell the best. Just straight up, they sell the best on Switch for by and large. So if they can get even more sales by being like, hey, we have a Switch 2 update, I bet they'll want to do that. And so I think you're going to see that quite a bit.
Next one and last one for now is from Boondoggle Hobbies. Monolith should have made a Constantine game with the Nemesis system, facing demons, exiting hell over and over. Yeah, I sure would have liked to have known what that original game they were going to make, which was probably designed with the Nemesis system in mind, would have looked like. I bet that would have been very good.
Yep, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, again, it's just like it's almost like I wish they didn't have to make the Nemesis system in the first place, so they would have been free from that and had the chance to do something new. But
a bit of an albatross. Also, like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's even overstated a bit. I think the Nemesis system, I think it's really cool. I also think it's not like quite as earth-shattering as some people think it is, that an orc came back with a scar and fought me again. Right. It was. And I know it's more than that, but no, I like those games for more than just that. Is what I'm saying.
It was really cool for that game. That was, Game of the Year 2014 because nothing, or whatever year it was, 2013 or 2014, because nothing else really came out. It was cool for that, but it just, people overstate it. You're right.
That's it for the Super Chats for now. If anybody wants to send out more Super Chats before we end the show, we will read them before we wrap things up. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. All right, let's take another break. When we come back, it's time for Who Wants to Be a Mikey and Air. Got a 15-question quiz. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire style for Mikey. All video game questions. If he wins, I have to buy him a t-shirt from the Yeti. So let's take a look and see how he does right after this.
The ultimate prize, a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm set up and ready to go.
We don't get shit. There you go. Beautiful.
I'm also ready.
All right. I'm just gonna share this.
Remember your lifeline. Mike,
yes.
Don't forget about your lifelines. You didn't use it last time.
Well, because I had to I had to be risky there. So it was a strategic decision. Oh, look at this. We have a overlay this time.
Yeah. I've used this before and I forgot about it, but this time we're good to go. Okay. Mike, are you ready?
Bring it back.
I'm going to bring it back.
Yep, right.
Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Who Wants to Be a Mikey and Air. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, for this game show within a podcast. Mike Minotti is our contestant this week on Who Wants to Be a Mike Minotti and Air. Mikey, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I want to thank you so much for this this second chance at this season of Who Wants to Be a Mikey in Air. Came up short last time. I'm feeling pretty good now, though. I think I'm going to be maybe a little bit more liberal with my lifelines. I would love it if you can remind me what those are again.
Yeah, let's phone a brother, right?
Yep.
You know, listen, that could be a phone a friend if you feel like you need to reach outside of your brothers who could be like sleeping. Who knows?
I warned them ahead of time.
There's 50-50. Christian will help me do like randomly pick two. And then there is ask the audience, and we'll just do a poll question. We'll do a poll right here in YouTube, and we'll take from there. Chat, honor system, don't Google it. Just don't Google it. Just honestly give us your initial reaction. Honor system, please.
Yeah. And no answers in the chat. I will shoot you. I have a gun.
I've given him permission to shoot on sight.
I
so
will.
there you go.
I will hide chat for a moment just in case.
All right.
Chef, I should check the 50-50 and it does it automatically. So you
Does it does work? Because I'm trying to remember for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you.
It
Wonderful.
works.
Okay. Let's take it from here with the first question. Mike, are you ready?
I'm ready, sir.
Which company created the Super Mario franchise? Was it A, Sega, B, Sony, C, Nintendo, or D, Microsoft?
Yeah, I wish I had my friend Chris Pratt's phone number because I think he knows this one.
Seems like you would.
But we went to that Super Nintendo World in Universal. They sure did have Mario over the place there. So I think the answer is C, Nintendo.
All right. Is that your final answer?
Final answer, Nintendo. Wow.
Good job. All right. Next question. Okay. Well, it went to this instead. Let's see. What the fuck? All right.
Oh, wait, what?
I don't know. Let me head back.
back?
All right. We're good. We're good. I think we're.
This is an ad or something.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
an
yeah,
ad. Okay. I think we're lined up. Everyone could see everything just fine. All right. Question number 2. What is the default name of the protagonist in the Legend of Zelda franchise? I did not finish the word franchise. Is it A, Zelda, B, Link, C, Ganondorf, or D, Epona?
Yes. I once heard it said that the protagonist is named Link because he's a link between you and the game. And I said, "Shut up, nerd!" And I started punching.
Sure, you just
and I just
start punching.
He's like, "Stop! You're hurting me!" And I was like, "I'll kill you."
You slam more than Pogs.
Right. So I believe the answer is B, Link.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
That is correct. Well done, Mike
Hooray.
Minotti. All right. Ready for the next question? Yes. Let's see if that takes me to an ad. No. All right. We're good. All right. Question number 3. Which all-time classic good video game known for its innovative motion controls was a back end for the Wii? Again, I must not have. Either it's cutting these off or something else is breaking here.
Or you're a very bad copy paster.
Or I'm a very bad copy paster. Is it A, Wii Sports, B, Wii Sports Resort, C, Midway Sports Asylum, or D, Carnival Games?
What's Midway Sports
It's their
Asylum? Was that a
EA
real
Big.
game?
It's their EA Big equivalent, and they had. I think they released one game under Midway Sports Asylum.
I would have played that one. The answer is A, Wii Sports. I would dispute this thing about classic good video game, but whatever.
Oh, so this is not your final answer then?
No, it's my final answer.
That is correct. Well done,
Hey.
Mike Minotti. All right.
Good.
Moving on to question number 4. In which game did Solid Snake first appear? Was it A, Metal Gear Solid, B, Metal Gear, C, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, D, Metal Gear MSX Subsistence?
Trying to be tricky by throwing the MSX thing in that D answer. Well, you can suck on D's nuts because the correct answer is actually B, just plain old regular Metal Gear.
Checking with the judges. The insult's okay? Okay. All right. Is that your final answer? Okay.
Final answer.
Oh, yes. Okay. Work? You gonna work?
This
This is where the
rules.
site broke on me when I was testing it, Jeff.
It did break on you? Okay. All right. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I just tried out. It doesn't work for me either.
Okay. Christian, did you test it past this point? Did it work for you?
I tested it past this point and it worked.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
What is going
trying
on?
to blame Christian?
no, I'm just
I'm
going to see if it was just me or just me and Sean or what here. Let me see.
I'm
can probably
running
fix this real quick.
a ad blocker. Maybe that's the thing.
Well, me too, but that's just automatically happening. I'm going to stop streaming it for a second. Like you don't look.
Okay, I'm not looking. God, I hope I got this answer right.
Let's see. I'm gonna refresh.
We will know soon enough.
Okay. This thing
Gonna keep
worked
covering
really well last time, I thought, and now of course.
No, I think we had problems last time.
No, we had problems last time.
Did we have problems last time? Hell yeah. Well, okay.
Last time, yeah.
I think the problems we had last time were all me. Like, I think they were all like me failing, like, to put things in correctly. All right, I think I got it here. Let me double check. Let's see here. It was question 4. I'm going to refresh this.
This is my punishment for the insult. David's right.
Yep, absolutely.
This is just good radio right here.
Wait, okay, that was the first question. It went back to the beginning. All right, let's try this real quick. I'm going to mute this in the meantime.
It would be really funny if you don't know the answers to your question and can advance the game.
Yes. Wii Sports. If this doesn't work, I have it all written down.
Let me see.
I was about to say, if you have it written down, you can just
yeah,
do
we'll just do it that way. I like having the sound effects, but
I can
Yep,
pretend to do them.
it's breaking. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Let's just go back to the list here. All right, Mike. Wait. Yeah. What's that, Christian?
No, I tried to do it and it broke.
Okay.
Me too.
Well, fair enough.
Maybe it has a limit uses.
I don't think so. I think it just seems like it's bugged out. I bet this was made a long time ago and it's not been updated in a very long time. Okay, let's see. Mike, the question was Solid Snake, first appearance. You said Metal Gear B was your final answer. That is correct. All right.
Hooray.
How are you feeling so far?
So far, these questions have been fucking easy, dude.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Well, let's see if we can't ramp it up a little bit with... Oh, no, this is not going to ramp it up at all. Which of these characters is not a playable character in Super Smash Brothers? Is it A, Sora, B, Steve, C, Banjo-Kazooie, or D, Master Chief?
Well, none of them are playable characters in the original Super Smash Brothers.
Ultimate.
But if you mean the franchise,
Ultimate.
then the answer is D, Master Chief.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
That is correct.
It's wild that Sora would have been an incorrect answer, right?
For sure. All right, question number 6. Which of these games did not appear on the PlayStation 2? Is it A, Kingdom Hearts, B, Final Fantasy IX, C, God of War, or D, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater?
Yeah, that would be Final Fantasy IX is a very late PlayStation 1 title, a beloved classic of that system. Final Fantasy X is the first PS2 entry in that series.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
That is correct.
Yay.
All right, question number 7. Nintendo and Game Freak worked with a third-party company to create. Man, I'm sorry. Every single question did get cut off, and this was not me being bad at copy pasting. Okay, Nintendo and Game Freak worked with a third-party company to create Pokemon in the first place. What is the name of that company? Is it A, Itoy Inc., B, Tanaka Enterprises, C, Ape Inc., or D, Creatures Inc.?
Oh, gosh. You know what? For a while there, I got worried and was like, I don't know the answer to this until I heard Creatures Inc. I'm like, that's that logo. That's the logo they showed up before that Nidoran and something else fight each other in the beginning of the game, and there's like a star or something. So I believe that the answer is D, Creatures Inc.
That is correct.
Yay.
All right, he's cooking,
Yay.
everybody. All right, let's take a look at this next question, see if I can figure out before I start reading it. Okay, question number 8. Which of these games was originally intended to be a Resident Evil title before being changed to something else? Was it A, Devil May Cry, B, Dino Crisis, C, Silent Hill, or D, Okami?
The answer is Devil May Cry. Funnily enough, if Onimusha was in here, that would have also been a correct answer. But of these choices, only Devil May Cry, originally a prototype for a potential Resident Evil 4, I believe. So yeah, answer is A, Devil May Cry.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, I'm feeling
Moving
good.
right into
how many
question
are
number
there?
9.
Is this question 11 of how many?
That was question 8 of 15.
Oh.
So you are past the halfway point, and things will start to get more difficult starting now with question number 9. Which game introduced the Nemesis system? Maybe not so much more difficult. A, Middle Earth, Shadow of War. B, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. C, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. Or D, Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, I do remember. I want to blame people for being confused. Wait, is it Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor the first one? But it was just Shadow of Mordor was the name of that original title with the Nemesis system.
Mike, that is correct.
Part of me's like, did I fuck it up? Did I fuck it up?
All right, moving into the final stretch here. 5 more questions, right? 6 more questions, starting with number 10. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds started as a mod for which game? Was it A, Operation Flashpoint, B, H1N1? Choice C would be Arma 3, or choice D, Delta Force?
I'm pretty sure it's Arma 3. That's not a final answer. Gosh, I'm pretty sure. It's like, again, I know if I lose, people are like, why didn't you use your lifelines? Well, because there's more questions left, and they're only going to get harder. So if I'm pretty sure, H1N1, what the hell was that? God, that was something. God, it could be H1N1. That sounds familiar. No, isn't that like a later survival game? God, now I'm not so sure.
I know you talked it out already, but you do have your lifelines.
I have my lifelines. And I'm worried I'm blowing it.
What are you thinking? Are you thinking about using a lifeline?
I'm thinking about using a lifeline now. I think I've talked myself maybe into using one.
Which
All of a sudden,
ones are you thinking about using?
I'm thinking about. I don't think my brothers know this one, and so I'd probably ask chat. I would probably ask chat this one. Now I think I have it between H1N1 and Arma. I could 50-50, but there's a possibility.
Risk. Sure.
There's a big possibility there, and then I'm really screwed. Let's ask the chat. I'm gonna use the lifeline.
Okay, all right. Let's get that set up. Again, the question is, let's see, question 10, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds started as a mod for which game? A, Operation Flashpoint, B, H1N1, C, Arma 3, or D, Delta Force. Instead of doing a poll, actually, chat, just spam your selection. And Mike, you can go off vibes. Does that work for you, or do you want me to do a poll?
I'm looking right now. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
So again, your options, chat. Operation Flashpoint is A. H1N1 is B. Arma 3 is C. Delta Force is D. Just spam the letter or even the name of the game, whatever. Just get it in the chat. Give Mike a good idea. Mike, are you seeing what you need to see? Do you feel better now?
Yeah, man, I'm glad I talked myself into this because, yeah. And as soon as I thought about, now I'm okay. Wait a second. Oh gosh, it was all H1N1s, and now all of a sudden it's all Arma 3s. Because that's fucked up.
Do you want me to run the poll? No. Your right. It's your right.
It got so much more Arma 3. Boy, I know that people are mean to me sometimes. I would hope for this they wouldn't try to sabotage me, Jeff.
Right. You're not in competition with anyone else. Although I do think, listen, I think if they tricked you on this, they would think it's very funny. But I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other. I swear. I'm just pointing that out.
Also, maybe H1N1's a bird flu, apparently. Maybe we mentioned H1Z1, or maybe you did it, and I'm an idiot. You know what? The answer's Arma 3.
Mike?
Yeah.
Arma 3 is correct. And H1N1 is a bird flu.
You stupid son of a bitch.
I was like, that sounds so familiar.
H1Z1 is the zombie game that zombie game that had a battle royale in it.
Yeah. I really should have.
Oh my god.
I wish I went with my gut, but that's how it goes. We're going further. We keep going.
Oh shit, my thing broke. It's double funny because I thought Chef was not fucking.
It would have been a good swerve. It would have been.
It was, I just thought it was really funny to put H1N1 in there, but
you got me.
All right.
It's pretty funny.
Moving on. Question 11. What engine did developer Ion Storm use to develop Daikatana? Is it A, id Tech 3, B, Quake engine, C, Quake 2 engine, or D, renderware?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole issue with the development was that they were making the game on the Quake 1 engine for a while and then switched to the Quake 2 engine. They switched engines a lot, though, Jeff. Boy, they switched them a lot. Boy, I should have read that fucking Doom Guy book. I do think... God, I'm trying to think. Because, God, that game looks so Quake 2-y. And then I know they used the Quake 2 engine on Anachronox, another Ion Storm game. I assume that Deus Ex probably was also, because that looks Quake 2. Yeah. I can't waste another lifeline. I'm just going to go, oh my God, here. I'm not even gut. I'm pretty sure this is right. Quake 2 engine.
Mike, is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Mike Minotti? C, Quake 2 engine? That is correct.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so question 12, 13, 14, and 15 left. 4 more. How are you feeling?
Lifelines. I'm thinking about the phone of brother thing, and I'm like, how much more do my brothers know about video games than me? And it's like, man, not much.
And like I said, we can make it a phone a friend. If you want to try to to text someone on Discord or something,
figure it out.
We'll make that work for you. Okay. Question 12. Which of these games was first to use the motion capture technology for character animation? I'm saying these games, it could have been the first, but just to make it clear, let's say of these games. A, Mortal Kombat. B, Prince of Persia. C, Virtua Fighter. Or D, Super Mario Brothers. I'm sorry, that was wrong. I'm reading the next one. D, Out of This World. My bad. Let me read the answers again for you. A, Mortal Kombat. B, Prince of Persia. C, Virtua Fighter. Or D, Out of This World.
Okay. Part of my question here now is like, would you call digitizing an actor frame by frame motion capturing? Is that motion capturing? I guess you're not really capturing their motion. Are you? It's semantics is scaring me here a little bit.
Don't let that scare you too much. Just to be fair.
So, what are the other options?
Mortal Kombat, Prince of Persia, Virtua Fighter, Out of This World.
Prince of Persia. For some reason, I kept thinking at the time the first Prince of Persia.
Yes, this is the first Prince of Persia.
My bad.
Yes.
That was my bad. You're clear. Prince of Persia predates Out of This World, and I do think they both probably have motion capture. I'm sorry, what was C again?
C is Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter's later. Prince of Persia was before Mortal Kombat, I think. It's hard to say because, there's definitely... Because there was an NES version of Prince of Persia, I think. It wasn't any good. That existed. I feel pretty good about this one. The questions are probably just going to get harder. Prince of Persia.
All right. You're going with B, Prince of Persia. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
All right, Mike Minotti. For the question 12, choice B, Prince of Persia. You are correct.
Woo-hoo.
Good shooting, Tex. All right. 3 left. 2 lifelines left, including the 50-50 and a phone a friend. Let's get to the next one. What was the first game played in outer space? Was it A, Tetris, B, Pokemon, C, Oregon Trail, or D, Super Mario Brothers? That's why I got mixed up last question. That's why I'm laughing.
Right. Going in, it's not like I know this, but boy, do I feel like I can just educated guess this one.
What's your line of thinking?
My thinking is Tetris 1, Game Boy, that makes it so easy early on. 2, Russians, they go to space. It doesn't have to necessarily be a Russian who did this, but it helps my odds here. I mean, Pokemon, nah. Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, they didn't take an NES up there. They took a portable. What's the other one?
The other one is Oregon Trail.
They didn't play, what, did they take an Apple II up there to play Oregon Trail? Hell no. I think that the answer has gotta be Tetris, Tetris.
All right, you're going with A, Tetris. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
That is correct.
Let's go.
And that was
Let's go.
exactly correct. A Russian cosmonaut played it on the space station or something like that in like early 90s. You nailed
Look at
it.
me using the old noggin.
Mike, that means
noggin.
2 questions left.
2 lifelines left, too.
And 2 lifelines left. All right. Let's do this. What was the last officially licensed game, meaning not like a Tengen sort of thing, officially licensed game released for the Super Nintendo? Was it A, Frogger, B, Kirby's Dream Land 3, C, Madden NFL 98, or D, The Lost Vikings 2?
This is interesting. Frogger stands out to me because I do think they just released, but when that PlayStation 1 Frogger game was a big hit, I think they basically just reissued like original Frogger for Super Nintendo with the Boxer, that PS1 game. Madden 98, always a very good guess though. Don't think it's Lost Vikings 2. Pretty sure it's not Kirby's Dream Land 3. Those are pretty late, but not that late. Let's use our 50-50 here, and let's hope that maybe I can get rid of one of these 2 that I'm actually considering between Madden and Frogger.
Christian, can you do like a random number generator 1 through 4 and
1 through 3, right? Never mind.
Yeah,
no, 1 through 4.
Yeah, A, B, C, D, and just tell me, like, text me which number it is or whatever, which letter it is.
Don't forget, the correct answer has to stay in there.
Exactly. I'll have him run it again if that's the way it goes.
All right. Did 2. There we go.
See
baby.
here. I'm not streaming to you anymore, right? Okay, let me do this.
All
right, Mike, we are running the numbers. We're crunching the numbers. We got the computers working it in the background.
All right, very good. I got the,
Let me know if you
punch
need one
cards
more.
going.
Yep, I'll let you know. Just give me a second. There we go. Actually, Christian, can you just make it one of those numbers so I know which one to like? Yeah, just give me one number.
All right.
Oh, baby.
Okay.
Better pick a good one.
All right. Let's see here. That's good. Okay, Mike. 50-50 got rid of Madden NFL 98 and the Lost Vikings 2. So forget those. You are left with Frogger and Kirby's Dream Land 3.
Okay. That's good. Like Kirby's Dream Land 3 is pretty late. I don't think it was the last Nintendo game we found out, maybe, but developed, not licensed or published even. And like I said, that Frogger game, I think I knew this about that. So when you said Frogger A, I was like, that sounds right. I think the answer is Frogger.
All right, Mike Minotti, you're going with A. Is that your final answer?
Frogger, final answer.
Mike Minotti?
Yeah.
You're going to the last question because that is correct.
Hopping on to the last question. Holy shit.
All right. One question left. One lifeline left. Phone a friend. Mike Minotti, how are you feeling?
Not too bad. I'm pretty proud of how those last 2 questions went. The 50-50 went my way. Because, I could have easily guessed Madden. I could have definitely talked myself into Madden. So getting Madden taken off there was a very big help.
Yep. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, he's looking pretty good. So you nailed it. Let's get to the last question. Which of these, again, kind of like could have been the first game, but we're going to make it simplified. Which of these was the first game to feature procedural generation? Was it A, Elite, B, Rogue, C, Diablo, or D, Beneath Apple Manor?
Oh, boy. What the fuck is Beneath Apple Manor? Are you playing a prank on me because of the Apple thing? Oh, shit. I mean, Diablo is definitely procedurally generated. I think Rogue is also. What can you say those answers again?
Your choices are A, Elite, B, Rogue, C, Diablo, D, Beneath Apple Manor. Elite, Rogue, Diablo, Beneath Apple Manor.
Boy, I know a lot about video games. I have never heard of Beneath Apple Manor, which is maybe my fault. Maybe it's just a joke like I think. I know very little about Elite. That whole series, I don't know how far back it goes. If you told me it's an Apple II game, I have no choice but to believe you. But I don't think it's that old. Rogue is definitely the oldest game of the three that I know exist. Now, Beneath Apple Manor could be like some freaking Xerox text adventure game that somehow randomly generated something, for all I know. Well, I mean, I could call somebody. I don't know what good it's going to do. Gosh, because AJ might know something about old computer games, but not that much. I might have to try calling AJ. I might have to try calling my brother AJ to see if he has any insights here.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to do that. All right, using your last lifeline. Of course, you don't want to leave that on the table. Even if he doesn't know, people would yell at you, right, for not using all your lifelines.
Wish I had like John Linneman on my phone, but...
I could try to call him. We've had on the show before.
Hello, AJ. This is Mike Minotti, your brother. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you. Thanks to our friends at AT&T.
AJ, AJ, I am on the last question of Who Wants to Be Mikey and Eric. This is my last lifeline.
Oh my God.
It's a bit of a difficult one. I'm not sure. I gotta be honest, I don't know if you could be a ton of help here, but I just would love to hear your perspective on it. I'm gonna have to repeat the question to you because you can't hear Jeff.
Up closer to the mic.
Okay.
Or maybe you can hear if I do this. Let me know if you can hear Jeff.
Hello, AJ. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear Jeff.
Okay. That's fine. All right. So, Mike, do you want me to just say it to you and you can repeat it to him?
Say it to me and I'll relay it.
Okay. All right. Let me make sure I got it right here. Okay. Which of these was the first game to feature procedural generation?
Which of these was the first game to feature procedural generation?
A, Elite. B, Rogue. Okay, yeah.
Elite.
B, Rogue.
B, Rogue.
C, Diablo.
C, Diablo.
D, Beneath Apple Manor.
D, Beneath Apple Manor.
Give you a couple minutes, 2 minutes-ish.
Yeah, let me help you out here. Is Beneath Apple Manor a real video game, or is he fucking with me?
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I mean, Rogue feels like the right.
Get the phone closer to the mic, please.
Yeah, phone closer to the mic, Mike.
Rogue.
You there, AJ?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, you cut off for a second.
I said Rogue would be my guess, but I don't know.
How old is Elite? Do you know? I don't know when the first Elite was.
I feel like Elite's not as old as Diablo, right?
I don't think it's as old as Rogue. I'm leaning towards Rogue.
I'm leaning towards Rogue too.
Okay. As long as Diablo's definitely procedure generated. I'm pretty sure that Rogue is also. That's why they're called roguelikes.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah. I mean, there's other things, I guess, the whole dying, but I think that's part of the package.
Unless Beneath the Apple Man or whatever is some classic game we've never heard of and need to go check out.
What are the odds neither of you have heard of that, though?
Right?
We know what Ultima is.
Yeah, we know about old games. We're old people.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna have to go with Rogue on this one, then, I suppose. Thank you, AJ.
Okay, you're welcome. Good luck.
Bye. I'm back.
All right, Mike Minotti, you had a chance to phone a friend for the last question. The Who Wants to Win or Who Wants to Be a Mikey and Air prize, a t-shirt from the Yeti paid for by the Game Mess LLC. You phoned your brother, AJ Minotti, and you asked him which of these was the first games to feature procedural generation? A, Elite, B, Rogue, C, Diablo, or D, Beneath Apple Manor. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with B, Rogue.
All right, you're going with B, Rogue. Is that your final answer?
Jeffrey Michael Grubb, that is my final answer.
Mike Minotti. In the game of Who Wants to Be a Mikey and Air, you went with B, Rogue, and that is not correct.
Wow. What was it?
Beneath Apple Manor is a roguelike game written by Don Worth for the Apple II and published by the Software Factory in 1978. while called a roguelike, it actually predates it by 2 years.
You tricked me with apples.
I'm sorry. I knew you would never trust an apple. I knew. I used it against you, and I'm sorry.
It's called Apple Manor because of the Apple II. I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
Oh.
That one was, I got that question because, Mike, I wanted the answer to be Rogue. And I'm like, well, I better double check this. I'm pretty sure it's the first game to feature procedural generation. That's why they're called roguelikes.
I mean,
the exact conversation you had with AJ. And I went to go look, and everyone's like, well, technically it's beneath Apple Manor 2 years before. I'm like, well, that's a good final question.
I mean, look, it's the final question. It's supposed to be hard. I guess, hey, look, we can't get there that soon, just 2 episodes, but boy, that hurts. That hurts to be that close to getting. I mean, I was going to get a $20 t-shirt for free, and now my life's ruined.
It was a good run. And it's a good run. It shows that you are right, though, to save your lifelines for as late as possible. Had you had the 50-50, had you had something there, it could have maybe made a difference.
It might, if I did go with my gut with Arma earlier and I had the Ask an Audience one there, I wonder if how many people in our chat
you never
who call
know.
me a boomer constantly would have known about Apple Manor.
Right. That was always the risk of using the Ask an Audience question on the later questions in the real show, right? Like asking the audience for like the mid questions, you do get the right answer. The late questions, it's like 25%, 27%, 12%. It's a little bit closer, so it's hard to say.
I got to read the super chat from Burrito right now. Who says they should be called Apple likes. Can you imagine the hell I'd be living?
God, you would get shit constantly. People are like, "Oh man, you playing Apple like, huh?" All right, that was Who Wants to Be Mikey and Air. I think that was very impressive, Mike. Very well done.
Thank you. We went deep.
Yes, it slipped through your fingers this time. I think that just means next time it'll be even sweeter if you win. Then we'll keep this going, everybody. I really like doing these. It's a lot of fun. Yep. Cool.
I like to think that I know something about video games, so it's fun to be tested every once in a while.
Absolutely. All right. What we'll do now is we'll take one last break. We'll come back, talk about what we've been playing, finish up those super chats, and we'll get out of here. We'll be right back after this. Okay.
All right,
I'm
everybody.
ready.
Next time we're going. I'm gonna look up something to make it.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Having to read it out is not the worst thing in the world.
I will should have go to something like that and maybe make something there.
Sure. Yeah.
Real quick, Sean from GameS.net. I have a question.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, please.
All right.
Is Mike allowed to call me?
Yeah, but you always make fun of me for liking old things. So I was like, he probably doesn't know about 1980s procedurally generated games.
Mike, I'm a trivia show host. Yeah. Of course I knew it was beneath Apple Manor.
God damn it. I was even going to. And you know what? I heard echoes of boomer.
He's traumatized.
PTSD.
No, you think Jeff Grubb knew beneath Apple Manor off the cuff? It was absolutely the correct answer.
God, beneath Apple Manor.
Sorry, I've never heard of that game.
Part of me has to appreciate the irony of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it was so sweet when I saw it.
Yeah. No, good run though, Mike. Good
You
run.
should play that game on the stream. Right?
Yeah.
Is it on? Can I get that on GOG? I bought all the Ultimate games on GOG recently for like $2.
It's an Apple II game. You could probably emulate it super easily.
I do want to like.
You probably don't even need to emulate it, right? Well, I mean, technically you'll be emulating it, but you just go to a website and you can probably just play it in your browser. All right, let's bring it back.
All right.
All right, we're back into the show. Mike, what have you been playing?
2 Point Museum.
I gotta say, I'm excited to play this based on one, watching you play the other day, and two, how much you just keep talking about. This is all I can play right now.
I love this game. Like, this is the third 2 Point game, and these are spiritual successors to
Tycoon
like
games,
theme games that Bullfrog Entertainment made, right? And Peter Molyneux studio back in the day. But I never had much of an interest in running a hospital. 2 Point Hospital was the first one. 2 Point Campus, it's a little bit more intriguing, but I love museums. I think museums are always super cool. And like this game's like, it is kind of all sorts of museums, even fake ones. And that's a nice part of the charm here. It's not like, oh, I have my Natural History Museum. Here's my T-Rex. It's made up bullshit.
Right.
It's very wacky. And and there's a bunch of different museums you have to manage. Like the one I just started doing, it is not like an air and space museum. It's a space museum, and that like, well, aliens are real. And here's some of their junk. Now send your helicopter to space to get more stuff to show in your museum. Just like the pacing of the campaign is done so much better than I've ever seen in one of these. Like, you know, I like the Planet Coaster games or like Planet Zoo.
Sure.
It feels like so long if I really feel like I'm playing one of those games sometimes, if I approach it from that campaign angle. Here, right away, I feel like I'm playing the game. I'm being introduced to systems at a nice, steady pace. But like the game's not spelling the stuff out for me because the UI is very intuitive and easy to grasp. So if the game says like, build a staff room, it'll give me a paragraph on how to do that. And they're like, yeah, okay, I get it. I build a staff room. You kind of drag and drop the grid. You place a few important items in there, and then boom, you have a staff room.
And does that unlock new things? So it's like a really strong loop.
Oh yeah, right. So it's like, okay, well now this keeps the staff happy. And it also, gives them, because they have to rest, so now they're not going to quit on me. And then like, okay, now let's build a gift shop so that we can make more money. The big loop is make money so that you can then send out these expeditions to find more museum exhibits, so you can keep making more money.
Great.
That's the simplest part of the loop, and there's so many more things to it. Like in the campaign is great because you start off in like one museum for a bit. And once you hit a milestone there, then it's like, okay, now you're going to jump over here, and now you're going to manage an aquarium for a bit and do that for a while. And then now here's like a flash challenge where here's a already built museum, but they have a big crime problem. So all you're worried about in this kind of 30-minute challenge is catching crime. So you're going to build a security room. You're going to place cameras. You're going to hire security guards. You beat that challenge. Now go back to your natural history museum and expand that one a bit. Right. So it's just like, I never get bored. You're constantly moving from these things, but you're also going back to stuff. So it's all still relevant and important. And I'm still discovering sort of depth and fun things. Like the one museum I had, I was struggling to make a profit. And then I realized there's this area where I could take advertisements. Like somebody's like, hey, we want you to advertise our bullshit, like fake festival thing. And then like maybe guest satisfaction is going to go down a little bit for that, but I'm going to make big money on that. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll put that in my museum. That's okay. That's great. And like, oh, that helped a lot. I was like, I should have sold out immediately.
Yeah, ethics are for chumps.
Right. Yeah, but just, also like one of the things I never liked about Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I love Roller Coaster Tycoon, was having to hire all this people and then tell them where to like go and like make routes for them. I just drop them down. Like, can't they figure it out?
Mm-hmm.
And here you can assign people to specific areas, but they generally figure it out. And there's like a good sort of system to what people are doing. It's always multiple things. You have general workers who can man the ticket booths. They can man the cafe, or they can, go to the gift store. Security guards can man the camera room. They can go around picking up donations from the donation bins, which is very important. Just tons of things like that. And it's also kind of like, it's not like laugh out funny, but it's a silly game. There's like a radio playing all the time and PA announcements from a British lady. And they're funny, but they're also actually telling you, like, if there's a problem in the museum, right? Like, if a donation bin is full, she'll be like, we're not accepting any more donations now because Dopey Dope here hasn't picked them up yet. I was like, oh, right, I should do that. I should hire more security guards or something like that. Like, oh, a security guard's on a break, so nobody steal anything. Like, oh, I should probably have a backup security guard for that.
Sounds, and like, obviously that's in line with the tone they set for all these 2-point games, which is in the lineage of games that were, a little bit sillier but yeah, that sounds fantastic.
If I heard her saying that PA lady is from like the OG theme hospital.
Wow,
so, like,
okay, very cool.
That's a cool touch. But oof. Yeah, I don't know. Is there some there's just a simplicity. Like, I like these kind of games. Like, even like Jurassic World Evolution, these sim games. I enjoy them. I usually bounce off, like, after a bit. And here,
right, where you kind of,
15 hours.
I get it.
Right, I'm 15 hours in, and I am not slowing down. I am having a very good time.
Well, all right. I have been looking for one of these games to like really give some time to, and you mentioned before this came out, like, the museum from Animal Crossing, your favorite thing, and like, yeah, that's me too. And I don't want it to play like that. I don't want it to be like one of these tycoon games. This sounds excellent. So I'm going to give that a shot.
Yeah, it actually comes out on the 4th, March 4th, since he has Tony Hawk's getting announced. So this
right.
could be a big red letter day for everybody.
Yeah, there you go. Mike Minotti Day. I've been playing some Steam Next Fest demos. The one I think want to talk about the most is that Golf Gambit game. That was a lot of fun. It is, as Nikki described on the stream that we did on Giant Bomb, kind of a little bit Ultimate Chicken Horse. It's not about like setting up, it's about setting up just obstacles, not like platforms that help you complete the level the way it works in Ultimate Chicken Horse. But before the round, it's a multiplayer online putt-putt game. Everyone just gets a random assortment of 6 traps. You get there's a timer set, 30 seconds. You get to go out onto the course, set down your trap. It has to be a certain distance from the hole, certain distance from the other traps. But you'll get like a bouncing Betty. So if someone hits that, they'll get bounced up and maybe get knocked out of the course and get a stroke penalty. There is a chariot that if you go in front of it, the chariot will like ram you up against the wall and pin you there. And then you kind of have to like all right, your shot's over now. You got to take another shot. There is a nuclear weapon that someone could a giant bomb that you could put right in the middle of these tiny little putt-putt courses, basically impossible to avoid. And you hit that and it blows up so hard, everyone just goes flying multiple times. I went hundreds of feet in the air. It's fun and funny and well done. It's a little putt-putt golf game, but they really found something that is, at least immediately, in that Pepsi Challenge taste test way, it goes down smooth. It goes down real nice, real fun. I don't know if it's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, I can recommend this to someone who's like, oh, I'm going to be playing by myself. No, probably not. No, this is a party game. And then will it have the juice to maintain this level of hilarity throughout, long play sessions? Also, I don't know. But if for a little mini golf game that is probably built ideally for like streamers and things like that, I think they really hit the mark. And, there's a ton of golf games. So finding a way to make these stand out is always impressive.
Better or worse than Kirby Dream Course?
Well, nothing's better than Kirby's Dream Course.
Of course not.
It's one of my favorite games of all time, Mike, and you know that.
Wasn't there a time where like me and you we had like Dan and Jan play it, and they clearly didn't like it as much as us?
Yeah, I mean, and since then, I don't know if you could tell, I've respected them less. So
yeah, I mean, I was just making sure you too.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, these fucking losers. Yeah, and then there's some other stuff that I want to get to, like that Ruffy and the Riverside. I know they've had demos before. It's that 3D platformer where you can like pick up textures and throw them on other polygons to change the textures so you can interact with them differently, and it looks incredible. But I did play that Wheel World, which is everyone's describing it as like an open world Wheels of the Kingdom or whatever. Gears of the Kingdom is what people are saying. It's, you ride on a bicycle. It's open world. There are shrines.
When you say Gears of the Kingdom, I have to admit, I imagine like Gears of War.
Yeah, sure. But tire gears or wheel gears.
Yeah, I get it.
And it had a really good feel to it. The bike physics, the momentum, sort of like, barreling down and really pedaling hard and trying to make tight turns. So that's not going to work. You are going to have to let up and sort of lean back and lean into the turn. And you can't do that if you are head down trying to go as fast as possible. And I like games that have vehicles, locomotion that works that way, where there is a certain level of understanding the way the mechanics work, so that you can't just be like, oh, well, this is an arcade racer. I'm just going to be able to do whatever I want on any turn and also go as fast as I want whenever I want. I'll never have to hit the brake. So that felt really nice. And then it looks really nice. Kind of people are comparing it to Sable, that sort of flat textured world. It doesn't have the frame rate effect that had the animated on the 2s, but it does have that visual look to it. It's striking. It works. There's some pretty good writing. I was interacting with another bike gang that wouldn't let me up a hill until I got more rep, and then went out and did some stuff, got some more rep. They let me up the hill. I could see why people were so into that. But boy, there are just literally hundreds of games in this Steam Next Fest demo, and I kind of went through and I picked out a bunch, and it's hard to keep up with everything, but I'm gonna try to play some more here before this thing ends. Anything else from you?
Well, I started my punishment that you gave me, the Thing
That's
remastered.
Right. Yeah, you played the Thing.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Like, first and foremost, it just nails that vibe of the Thing. It nails that while also having very clearly that kind of PS2, again, kind of that Quake 2 look of things that I also just find very appealing. But boy, I don't know, there's something about like snowy horror that is fantastic,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, I love that. I was playing that as well. I'm probably about halfway done. And Yeah, I think they have like Dan said on the Bombcast, lots of ambitious ideas. Very much in that time where the budget for building the visuals and the look of a game wasn't so high that you were limited in what you could try to do with the gameplay.
Right.
And you definitely see that in this game. Where like, let's just try some stuff. Let's let these NPCs that you work with have some internal thoughts that you're going to have to contend with as the player. And I've enjoyed that so far. Most of the time I am blasting my way out of a bunch of little crawlers trying to get my face or whatever. But it is interesting dealing with the teammates and kind of their reactions to everything that's happening.
Yeah, it's like somebody looked at the like scientists and medics you can recruit in Half-Life 1.
Yeah.
It's like, well, let's make that better. And that's what it is. And it's a neat system. And some of the stuff you can do, like with the trust, you could take one of the blood tests in front of somebody and they'll trust you more.
Right.
Things like that. You can give someone a gun and then they'll calm down if they're freaking out. I'm like, this is still a pretty good way to do this. And this was, again, PS2. I think Night Dive has been really good about finding like older games that were a bit ahead of their time in some ways, like this, like Power Slave.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate when they're doing work like that.
Yeah, it's they got a really good curator's eye that you're right. I really respect. So God, love that we have Night Dive. Love that they do this work. It's fantastic. Anything else?
I think those are the big ones. I'm still Tales of Graces is still my nightly Switch game. Don't have too much to report on there. I want to play some more Monster Hunter very soon. I honestly did not play as much of Valve this week as I would have liked.
Same.
The museum game took over. I really was playing that museum game a lot this week, Jeff.
I mean, I did play some other games, but it was your Blight Club game and then Dan Reichert's Blight Club game. So
it was nice of you to beat our Blight Club games before you finished yours.
Trust me, it was not lost on me what was happening there. But it was fun, I am worried that you might end up liking your game, but it's also one that needs to be played. So we'll see. I think there's going to be some tough ones like that as we keep going, where it's like, this is a bad game, right? And then I don't know. It is bad, but it's also got some weirdness to it. So I won't say too much more. I'm sure you got a million things going around in your head. But like I said earlier, I have confidence that you're going to be able to figure out the parts of this that really tested a lot of people.
I mean, how bad can a Sunsoft game really be, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, they made Batman. They don't make bad games. Come on.
No, absolutely not. Right.
By the way, for the people that wants to play the 2-Point Museum game early, you can buy it now, and it has advanced access. It has one of the things you can play right now.
Cool.
I didn't even know that. I
You're
wonder if I
hyped
could
for that.
stream it now then if I wanted to.
Yeah, probably then.
I bet you can.
Yeah, because it has a sandbox mode. I haven't actually started that yet. I'm not sure exactly how that works.
That's right, Mikey O'Leary. They don't make bad games. They make bat games.
Hey.
All right. Well, then let's get to these super chats and wrap up this show. What do you say?
Man, Dan had... Oh, God. I'm sorry.
No,
Yes,
it's okay.
let's wrap it up. Okay. From, let's see here now. L. Grug
I think that's right. Yeah.
said, so Sean and Nikki are installing their new 5080s that Backler expense on Giant Bomb Kids Monday? Penis?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me. I'll make sure Backlar gets on top of that. I think it should happen.
Backlar should be expensing my Dreamcast demo kiosk that I won for $3,000 first.
Are you like, how hard are you considering that?
I like 20% consider it. $3,000 is a lot.
3,000 is a lot. Like
if it was $1,500, I'd be there tomorrow.
Yes, of course.
Be there tomorrow.
Yep, totally. 3,000 though. The fact that you're still 20% considering it, that's why it's $3,000 though. So
yeah, they know. I'll tell you what. If I'm not buying it, I don't know how many other I don't know how many other suckers in the air.
Have you
for it.
even inquired or maybe given an offer
to them?
Okay.
I don't love. I'm not a good barterer, Jeff.
Yeah, haggler.
I will usually just pay the asking price to get out of having to barter.
I
hate
Mike.
it so much.
I too am from the Midwest. Yes, I know.
I hate doing that. I was like, what's the price?
Yep. Let's just make this easy.
Cost? What are you talking about? God, I remember at one of the retro game shows, I got annoyed with that because I bought 4 games from this person. I spent a lot of money in his booth. I just paid him what he wanted. They're like, a guy right after me was like basically a dick to him the entire time and wasted a lot of his time and got a giant discount because of it.
Yep.
I was like, man, this system sucks.
Yeah, it's
This blows.
I really dislike it as well. Yep.
Mikey O'Leary says H1N1 is swine flu, H5N1 is bird flu.
Okay,
Well,
that's
look,
right. Swine flu. Thank you, Mikey
My
O'Leary. Yes.
mistake. My mistake. I got to read burritos. They should be called apple legs again. It's just like, that's a good one, burrito. The Derek says, I just need to tell someone that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection is very good. What's your favorite retro card game, video game? I like the Capcom versus SNK or SNK versus Capcom card battle game on Neo Geo Pocket Color a ton. It's kind of like the Pokemon trading card game that was on Game Boy, but just with Capcom and SNK characters. I need to play it again now that I actually know who the SNK characters are.
Yeah, I always have been curious about this genre. I wanted to try the Pokemon one, but maybe I'll do the Yu-Gi-Oh one. That'd be more interesting. I just like the idea of this.
You know what, Jeff?
Huh.
I will say I haven't had a chance to talk about this yet. I've been playing that for review for the past couple of weeks, and it is very good.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
Hey.
It is all the Game Boy games and all the Game Boy Advance games, and I won't get into it too much here. I think we're pivoting tomorrow's Bombcast for Vengeance from just Monster Hunter to Monster Hunter Focus and some other stuff. So
Okay,
I might
that'd
be
be
able
great.
to talk about it tomorrow on BCR in depth. But I think it's very interesting because some stuff got localized into English for the very first time. And that's very cool. I just think it's a bit expensive at $50, considering it's
Sure.
only Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. So
Yeah.
maybe it's kept on sale. But yeah, it is very good.
For $10 more, you could be playing Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Mm.
That sounds like
No,
a good GB at Kids game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
GB Kids.
Yeah,
GB at Kids.
maybe me and
Yeah.
Nick will play it on Monday. Who knows? I think if they're not listening right now, I want to surprise them with Blinks 2, which they found out today exists.
Aw,
Hell yeah.
I want to play the Bleaks game so bad.
You know what's a good old Yu-Gi-Oh game? The tactics one they did for the PS2, the War of the Roses. That shit fucking slaps.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all need to check it out.
Was it like the shoot War of the Roses, or was it less bloody?
No, it's less bloody. There's no,
It's Duelist of the Roses. But
Oh, Duelist of the Roses.
hey,
Oh,
if you
it's
want an
Duelist of the
actual interesting tactical game that's on this collection, Jeff, there's a Yu-Gi-Oh game that's just Fire Emblem.
Oh, okay. I'll play that.
because
Hell yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh was not always card games, and so this was one before the card game was
So
established.
when somebody told me that blew my fucking mind.
Yeah,
that the
wait,
weird thing with the show
yes.
is that he's good at
Okay,
every game.
I'll get into
What?
it more
Wait,
tomorrow.
what?
But that's why he's the king of games. Is that like he and his spirit that inhabits him when he needs to like punish evildoers or whatever. Originally, it was just games to the death of various kinds.
Yeah. They will
And-
play Russian roulette in that manga.
And then
Okay.
the Pokemon trading card game happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
And they were
see.
like, oh, this is all we're doing now.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Any more super chats, Mike?
Yeah, let's see here now. One more from Garwalk. Recommend run. Oh, we got another one. But from Garwalk, recommend Run Tavern Quest. I just watched Bailey play the demo. It's a text-based MUD where you play as the game and you're being played by a dumbass.
Oh, okay. That sounds
Sounds
fantastic.
interesting. I should like play a text-based game.
Yeah, I want to play
sometime.
a shoot mud. I've
Let's
never
play
done
Colossal
that.
Cave Adventure. or
Okay, yeah.
something.
I want to like play the reason it's called adventure games. Yeah.
Right. Oh gosh, that'd be good. Oof, that does sound fun. People maybe not. I don't usually like dive into Steam Next Fest. I'm not a giant demo guy a lot of the time, but that does sound fun. Then Ali Miracle says, saying shoot War of Roses is such an unhinged sentence.
Not wrong, Ali Miracle.
It turned out to be a very legitimate question, though.
Fantastic.
What are we gonna do here?
Thank you all for all the super chats. I really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who also watched live and hit the like button, all that stuff. Thank you for Sean and Christian for helping. Mike Minotti. Let's get out of here. What do you say?
Yeah. Getting to the end of the week now. That's exciting.
Yeah,
I have I have another kid's birthday party to go to tomorrow, and I also don't have a gift yet, so I gotta do all that. I think we're recording a new '90s Disney tomorrow.
Fun.
Yeah. I think on the Disney, we're doing it on the Disney Cruise Line. That's right. AJ's doing that episode, so the birth of the Disney cruise.
Wow, okay,
that'll be fun.
That sounds very interesting.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, well, that must be a massive vagina.
Oh my god.
What?
To birth a cruise line.
Oh, wow.
I was making it subtle, and then you just like, we should.
Nah,
Well, it's just
I
like,
needed that one
that's-
spelled out for me.
That's what Christian said, so I'm like, let's just do it. Oh, boy,
Okay.
everybody. That's when you know it's time to end the show. All right. Mike Minotti, where can people find you on the internet other than 90s Disney?
Yeah, twitch.tv/Tokoto. I'll probably stream the rest of the Thing remaster this weekend. Probably want to play another point-and-click adventure game. Maybe I'm going to finally play Loom, one of the few
fun,
LucasArts
yes.
adventure games I haven't played.
Then I can ask you about it.
Yeah, I have a replica of that pin. I need to wear it, actually.
Oh, that'd be great,
Tell
yeah.
me about Loom. Yeah, it came with my Secret of Monkey Island Collector's Edition thing that I got way back when.
Sorry, Connell Wooden chat just says, yes, the single entendre. It's like, yeah, that's sorry, that's what I was doing.
Old-fashioned single, the rare single entendre. See,
Jesus.
what else are you guys doing tomorrow?
Are you doing Monster Hunter tomorrow?
We'll do some Monster Hunter tomorrow, yeah, for sure. And then BCR Game Mess Mornings. It'll be another one of those back-to-back days, everybody. So just tune in for Game Mess Mornings. We'll go from there. I've got that hockey game on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be outside.
Fun.
Gonna be a good time at the shoe.
Grubb Fandango.
Grim Fandango, yes. So I'll try to get some of that done for sure. And then I'm gonna I got a bunch of
gotta finish up Act 2.
Yep, gotta just do stuff around the house as well. But yeah, that'll be that. But
You
yeah,
can put that stuff off, it turns out.
tune in to GiantBomb.com tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good one. Take care of yourself and goodbye.
We didn't talk about that sweet-looking Terminator 2D game. Did you see that shit?
I saw some stuff. I haven't looked too closely yet.
Oh, it looks hot. Oh, it looks so hot.
Keep yelling over the music. It will
It
probably
looks
make
hot!
sense.
Sexy, sexual hot. I beat it.
Oh, you beat it.